Hello and welcome to another episode of the In Her Power podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited for today's episode/video because it is a designated Q&A for both the potty and my YouTube channel. I just realized I've never properly introduced myself. I've never properly sat down and given you guys a little bit of insight into who I actually am. What you see on social media is literally all you know. And if you're listening on the potty through the streaming services and you only listen through the streaming services and not on YouTube, I don't think I've ever done a proper get to know me Q&A on here either, which feels low-key criminal because I personally feel like we're best friends, but I feel like there's such an element of our friendship missing. So in today's episode, we're not going to ramble. I'm going to get straight to the point as to who I am, and I'm going to answer your questions that you sent through on the podcast's Q&A story thing. If you've listened to a previous episode of the podcast / the YouTube channel, you will know that I'm claiming 2025 the year of the boom for me. So my business, my personal brand, the podcast, but also our friendship. Let's make 2025 the year our friendship booms. Yes, you, the person behind the screen or the person behind the headphones listening to this on the streaming services. So as I said, I'm going to answer all your questions from what you sent through on my little phone. But before we do that, let's do a little icebreaker. Quick, short, sharp, straight to the point, fun facts about me. Hi, my name is Rebecca Stewart, if we want to be formal. Surname is still Stewart, even though I have been married for what will be 4 years this year. I have been with my partner, Zach, for 11 years, married for 4 years in March, and I'm still a Stewart. I still haven't changed my last name for no other reason than I cannot be effed. Okay, Zach and I go on an international holiday pretty much every single year, sometimes twice a year, and it's just an absolute mission. Okay, it's a mission to change over Medicare, credit cards, like business stuff. It's a lot. Passports. And I've just never been organized enough to change it with enough time to change everything over to then go overseas with a passport, and just, I don't want to risk it. I've heard stories. I actually have a friend of mine who changed her name legally, but then kept it her maiden name on other things, and then there came like a discrepancy at customs, like the border security, anyway, Zach has been asking me for years since we got married pretty much to change it. I will one day. But for now, legally, Rebecca Stewart. When I do eventually change my name over, it'll be Rebecca Bauman, and I'm very excited for that. But I also love my surname. I have such a beautiful attachment to the Stewart name. I love my family. I love my grandparents, who are obviously Stewarts, and I just have like an emotional tie to that as well. So it kind of makes me sad thinking about changing my name. But anyway, Rebecca Stewart. I'm almost 29. I'm 29 in 2 weeks. I'm an Enquiries, obviously, and I live on the Gold Coast, Australia. I work entirely for myself. As of about 2 years ago, I quit my 9 to 5 to take my businesses full time. It was the best thing I ever did, and I have not looked back since. I own a product-based business called The Habit Tracker. It is my pride and joy, and it is such a true representation of the human I am. Organized, productive, I'm a go-getter, and therefore I created a business that caters to people who are just like that or who want to become like that. We have digital products, resources, all the things to help organization, productivity, and to live a really organized, fulfilled life. We have journals. We've got the productivity timer. We have a few things coming at the end of the year. There's a whole heap coming in 2025, but that is my little baby. She is still a very small business, but we have a big heart with big plans, a big mission, and a lot to show you guys. So I'm excited. I also have a podcast, In Her Power, which was actually born as a byproduct of me stepping into my power, quitting my 9 to 5, going after the dream life, and proving to myself that, oh, hang on, if I actually step into my potential, I actually can obtain everything I wanted. And I did. And so I made a podcast to teach you guys and to help you guys and to guide you guys and empower you guys to step into your own power and go after that life that you cannot stop thinking about. I have 2 fur babies, a 5-year-old dachshund called Dexter, and a 5-month-old Aussie Shepherd called Lacey. And then I also have a 3rd baby which lives with mum and dad. That's like our family dog. That is Coda, the Australian cattle dog, and they are the lights of my life. Fun fact about me is that I was almost a primary school teacher. I got 3 years into the 4-year degree and then decided I absolutely hated it with every fiber of my being. And I physically cannot be in a room to teach anyone under the age of 12. Children just are not my cup of tea. I love my friends' children. I love my family's children. I will love my children. But strangers' children, I actually couldn't do it. And my hat goes off to any teacher, any educator in any capacity. You are you're a completely different elite breed. I'm sorry, you guys are the elite human. So that's a little bit about me. Quick fire, short, sharp, straight to the point. This is who I am. Let's just get stuck straight into some of your questions. What I'm going to do in today's episode is I'm hand selecting the most interesting or the most reoccurring questions that I think you guys will want to hear, okay? So I'm not going to answer things like, what's your favorite food? Boring. I want to tell you guys what my deepest, darkest secret is. Not that I really have any. Also, I just want to say, if you are watching this YouTube video, if you are listening to this podcast episode, it is obvious that you are my people. You care about what I have to say. You sit through me rambling. And so therefore, this is just me clarifying and really justifying how much you mean to me. You guys deserve the intricate details of my life, the intricate finer things that aren't public on social media. I feel like content on social media has the ability to go viral very quickly. It's public to so many people, whereas YouTube and podcast episodes, you have to care about either the topic I'm talking about or me as the host. So you guys deserve the intricate details. So you know what? I am going juicy. I am going deep, and I'm going to tell you everything. Let me just get up the questions. Is your family supportive of you being an influencer? Yes, they absolutely are, which is really interesting because my dad is very like corporate man. He's like a boss dog in the corporate system. He's very like corporate, I don't know, very regimented. And, you know, my parents sent me to a private school and then really pushed me to go to university. And then I wanted to withdraw from university and they pushed me to stay. And so it's interesting that they were so, you know, by the book, by the system. But now I'm like completely the opposite. Like I don't utilize my marketing degree that much. By the way, that's probably a fun fact for you guys. I have a marketing degree, well, entertainment industries marketing major. Yeah, they do support it. I am actually really trying hard to drift away from being an influencer. I don't love that title anymore. I don't even love the title content creator because I feel like I'm not that. Of course, that's part of my business model. I would say Beck Stewart is the personal brand. The habit tracker is the e-commerce business. And then the podcast is like an arm that assists both of those things. I don't think they realize like just how in depth this job is. They would support me regardless of what I did. Maybe not everything. As long as I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm fulfilled, I'm comfortable, I can stand on my own 2 feet, I can pay my rent, I can put food on my table, and I'm like filled with joy and love, they're happy. So I'm very lucky to have very supportive parents. Thank you for asking. That's a really interesting question. And I love that we could kick this episode off with that question. What's one limiting belief you've had to overcome to get you where you are today? I love you and your work. I love you too. This is a really interesting one because I had two. First and foremost, I genuinely did not think that I would be able to succeed in business because I didn't have family from business backgrounds. A lot of the people I know who are successful business owners have had parents who are also business owners or have, you know, really close best friends that are successful business owners or cousins or whatever, or who did a business degree even. By the way, you do not need a business degree to start a business. In fact, I would not even recommend you did that. I really thought you can't succeed in business. There's no evidence of anyone you know closely that has succeeded to the level that you want. That was a limiting belief, had to challenge that. And second of all, I genuinely felt stuck for like 2 or 3 years. I wasn't growing on social media. I couldn't figure out what my niche was. I felt myself like almost wanting to copy people and copy people's creativity. This was years ago, by the way, when I lost my account. I'm talking like 2021, 2022. And then all of a sudden, my account got taken away from me. This is the universe doing its thing. My account got taken away from me. I was hacked. It was really just disabled because someone effed with it. And then around 2023 and beyond, I really found my groove. And then 2024 was really, really good year. I know for so many people it was the worst year of their lives, but claiming it one of the best for me. I found my feet. I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly who I am. I just think that's really cool. This is your reminder to challenge your limiting beliefs. A lot of the time they are negative thoughts and a lot of the time they are false. So do not get sucked into them. I got a lot of questions around my editing style for my reels, what I use, all that kind of stuff. So guys, I use InShot and I use CapCut. I use them both interchangeably because certain effects are on InShot, certain effects are on CapCut. I feel like when you like certain things, like trial and error, you're going to have to do with this, but like on InShot, if you speed up the clip, it doesn't alter the audio. In CapCut, if you speed up the clip, it alters the audio, just like little things. So I use them interchangeably. It is complete trial and error. Please just spend an afternoon sitting down with CapCut and InShot and figuring out how to use it yourself. I know that's kind of like annoying to hear, but that's how I learned. I am completely self-taught. I get all the sound effects or everything through InShot or CapCut. So those are the only two I use. They are the paid version. I do not use the free version. I think the free version of CapCut, if that's even still a thing, has next to nothing that I need. I answer this question all the time, and I just thought I'd answer it here. InShot, CapCut, get onto it. 3 tips when starting social media and your business. Okay, this is going to be super blunt, straight to the point. You guys know that I love my tough love. So here's 3 short, sharp, straight to the point tips. First and foremost, please find something you're passionate about. If you are getting into something for the money, for the clout, or for any other reason other than the fact you love it, you will burn out and the novelty will wear off very, very, very quickly. Number 2, do not copy somebody else. You need to find your own voice. You need to find your own feet in the niche that you're in. It's really funny, and I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. Yeah, I'm going to. I don't care. You guys know that I have changed up. Well, maybe you don't. If you're new here, you won't. But I changed up my editing style middle of last year, right? Very polished, cinematic, advanced editing. And all of a sudden, people started sending me brands who also started to adopt that editing style. Now, that's fine. I do not own a specific series. I do not own a specific editing style. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is it's very obvious that these brands and these people have completely ripped what I did right down to the script, right down to the sound effects, right down to every element of what I did. First of all, the video didn't perform, but what is more embarrassing and like what is worse is that their own audience can identify that they have ripped from another creator and then are even more reluctant to support them because they have copied. Now, again, I own nothing on social media. You are allowed to take inspiration from other people. But when you're editing, the sound effects and the script are very, very similar to somebody else's, your audience knows. I can't even tell you how many of you guys from all over the world, okay, not just in Australia, all over the world, have sent me reels of creators who have completely ripped my concept, ripped my caption, ripped my free resource, ripped the script. And yes, it is people in my industry. Yes, it is brands that you know and love, but you guys sent them to me. You guys have said to me, I'm out now actually not supporting this brand or this person or this podcast or whatever. And so that's my tip number 2. You cannot get away with copying people anymore. And I love it because people are calling it out. People are saying you could have at least credited this person. You could have at least, tagged the creator or the original owner of this. You need to find your own feet. And if you're not standing out, good luck to you in this space. That's all I have to say to you. You need to find your point of difference. Of course, you can take inspiration. Of course, you can go with the trends every once in a while, but you need to find your own voice. Find your own color scheme. Find your own font type. Find your own signature series. Find your own editing style and run with it. Tip number 3, get a good accountant and make sure you get good at understanding BAS and tax and all the fun things of a small business owner or a sole trader, because I know so many people personally that have been bitten in the ass by the tax man because they simply weren't prepared. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Are you thinking of having kids in the future? I definitely am. Zach and I have spoken about this probably monthly at this point, because we have not pressure, but people bring it up, and a lot of our friends are starting to have babies, and a lot of people online who are similar to our age have had babies or are having babies now. And it's a very interesting conversation in our household because Zach and I would love a little family, little bubbies running around, but also we have collectively agreed, and by collectively I just mean him and I, we've agreed that we feel our life has just started right now. Let me explain. Zach and I have never had the amount of money we have right now. Zach and I have never had the amount of freedom, the ability to just go off. We haven't got kids. We haven't got a mortgage. We haven't got things tying us down. We could literally just pack up our children, and by children I mean our 2 dogs, hire a motorhome, leave this rental, break lease, and just F off. We could go on a cruise. We could go overseas. We could put the dogs on a flight. We wouldn't, but we could. We don't have to ask for leave. We don't have to submit, leave requests and get them approved. We haven't got anyone to ask for permission to go overseas or do what we want. We have so much of the world to explore, and we have the ability to do that right now. I just don't think a kid fits into it right now. On top of that, I feel like my business is like at a really good point where I'm like, we have the potential to go full steam ahead. In fact, we are. This year is such a big year for me in a professional sense, and I haven't spoken about this, but I'm happy to do so now. I have hired a Tia. So if you saw in my previous vlog, she came in, she offered to help me with strategy. Long story short, she now works for me, which is really exciting. So she helps me with the habit tracker stuff. I want to start developing a team. I want to move into a warehouse or office space. I want to add to our product suite. Zach and I are going overseas later in the year to speak to a manufacturer to build a brand new product or products from the ground up. I've literally just given you guys a lot of secrets that no one knows about, not even my family. Anyway, so there's just like a lot of stuff. And like, can you imagine having a kid right now in that? Now, I don't want to, put in limiting beliefs out onto myself, but I truly believe I wouldn't be able to go as fast and grow as fast and progress as fast with a little baby in the mix. You know what I mean? So the answer to that is we will absolutely be having a family at some point, but I reckon a good year at least. Like, I'm 29 this year, maybe 30, 31 will start. I don't know. I really don't know. And I hate putting timeframes on things that stresses me out. To be confirmed, yes is the answer, but I can't tell you when. How do you focus on your goals and future you, but still live in the moment? I truly believe that two things can be true at the same time. I think that you can be so incredibly happy and present and grateful for what you have, but still want so much more out of yourself and the way that you work and the way that you behave and the way that you live and the things that you obtain and you desire. I had someone message me once and say, no, it was actually a public comment. She said, why are you posting so much future you content? Can't you just be happy with what you have right now? And I said, I can absolutely do both. And you know what? I do both very effectively. I have never been more grateful, but also I have never been more driven for bigger, better, and more. And that's okay. I am a go-getter at heart. And if you're listening to this, you're watching this, there's a high chance that you are too. And you're allowed to have both. What I personally do to enable myself to be really happy and present is exactly that. Get off the phone, schedule in a social media detox day at least once a week. When you go out to dinner, be present, live in the moment, take a photo if you want to, but then put that phone down. I schedule in time to actually step away from the phone. I have nighttime routine where I put down the phone. I'm present with my husband. I'm present with my book. We do things in our daily routine, our weekly routine, our monthly rituals that enable me to feel really present and grounded. And I practice gratitude every single day. I'm so conscious of the life that I've built and I love it. I'm grateful for that. But on the flip side, I also have the time in which I schedule to work my ass off. I have structured, regimented work days that I get the most out of every single day because I know that helps me move the needle day in, day out. The question for you from me would be, how can you schedule more moments of gratitude and more moments of presence into your daily, your weekly routines, as well as your monthly rituals? So maybe it's scheduling a day where you take yourself on a solo soul day. Maybe it's scheduling a day once a month where you go into a spa and you clock off, you sign off, you do not touch that phone, you do the cold plunge, you do a sauna, you get a massage, you get all the things. That's how you stay present and grateful for what you have right now. You're looking after yourself, but you also have that time scheduled within your daily or weekly routine where you work your bum off to go after future you, to go after the life you want. You can absolutely do both at the same time, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. One of the final questions I'm going to ask, I'm getting so many questions about how you stay motivated. And I think it's really important to remember that, hi, I'm human and I also am not motivated 100% of the time. In fact, as of late, the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I have felt my most unmotivated in like such a long time. My workload has been so demanding, it's overwhelming, and then I get unmotivated and then I just stay stagnant and stuck. I think one of the things that I do that works every single time is I will always journal. I will unpack what's happening, why I'm feeling like this, and how I can get to the bottom of it. I will practice gratitude. So what are the things I'm grateful for? Again, circling back into the previous question here, that's enabling me to feel present. That's enabling me me to live in the moment? What am I grateful for right now? What is going for me right now? I have a motivational playlist. It's just a feel-good playlist on Spotify. I will listen to that. And then the next thing, which is the most underrated, it's going to be the last thing within this motivation concept, is to take your first baby step. Action kills anxiety. Action kills stagnant energy. Even if it's the first smallest baby step you've ever taken, you need to move. You need to get up and create action in whatever it is you're currently stuck in or you're unmotivated about. So if it's a university assignment, write the first sentence or write the title and stick to it as long as you can. If it's health and fitness and you can't be bothered to get up and go to the gym, go for a walk or go into the gym and tell yourself, if I'm not motivated after 10 minutes, I'll go home. What is your first baby step? Your results, your progress, and your life is your responsibility. You need to take control. And the moment you realize that you are entirely up to you, your results, your progress, your growth is entirely up to you, the quicker, I promise you, you'll get off your ass and make that first baby step. No one can do the work for you. Hear me when I say, as soon as I remembered that I am my responsibility, the quicker my life changed. And I'm actually going to end the episode here and this video here. I feel like that's a very motivating way to transition out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more. I cannot wait to see you again and speak to you again in our next episode and next video. As always, thank you so much. I love you so much. I will see you in our next episode.